and welcome to episode 18 of TemTalk, your weekly podcast dedicated to the creature collection MMO Temtem. We have a very exciting episode today and a lot of things going on. The most exciting two things is we're joined by Josh Stryker, as you can see, and we've partnered with Temporium GG to broadcast from their channel today and for the next several weeks at the very least. So right off the bat, Josh, welcome. How are you doing today?
Yeah, you're doing good, thanks. Really appreciate you inviting me on the show. Really watched it a couple of times and yeah, really impressed with what you guys do, and yeah, love to be a part of it.
Be careful what you claim to have watched, because I'll start quizzing you later in the show to see if you've actually watched the previous episode. I put Havoc on there.
I've watched a little bit. I'm backtracking now.
Yeah, we got him cornered already. Guys,
can we have a TemTalk like trivia day of just like on what episode and how many times did Von Lin complain about Saipark?
How many bets has Kennedy won?
All of them.
Those are your hearing, as of course I'm always joined by my co-hosts Gaijinbu and Kennedy. Good morning to you gentlemen as well. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
It's an okay morning. It won't be good until I get my red bird.
Oh, we got to talk about that a lot today.
I mean, I found mine during TemTalk, so maybe it's your episode or maybe it's Josh's episode. Somebody's going to find a Luma Saipark while we're having TemTalk today.
That's true. That could happen.
I do want to say at the top of the show, shout out to everybody who's watching. Thank you, everybody who has been enjoying the show. I actually got a very interesting request this week from Von Lin, of one of the fans who's been enjoying the show a lot, wants a OT tag from each of the co-hosts, I guess. And so this morning in my stream, not my stream, but I can remove my camera. I bred one of my mushooks. Its name's Tenet, and then like the Denki Toxolotl I was using for an egg. And so whenever this hatches on stream, I'll make sure to nickname it. And
you got to nickname it. I was just going to say, you got to nickname it.
Yeah.
Right before.
But yeah, it's a pretty good week.
Before we jump straight into the news, because we got a lot of points and news and things from the community to cover, just a reminder to everyone, tomorrow, Sunday, is Father's Day. Right? That's what we were. You guys just reminded me before the show.
That is correct. Yeah. So Sunday's Father's Day. I was going to be doing the Luma Saipark giveaway on Sunday, but then they reminded me, oh yeah, that's Father's Day, and I'm like, okay, we'll wait till Monday.
So call or visit your fathers tomorrow, everyone. Let's go straight into what the Saipark was, shall we? Should we take a look?
I don't want to talk about Saipark.
Oh, you know what? I'm a noob.
Next piece of news.
I forgot on this when the switch just to set up the Discord window captures for you guys. So it's going to be just the Chrome. We'll get that fixed for the next one. But for this week's Saipark, it was an amazing Saipark, was it not? At least I think so for the two 5%ers.
A fantastic Saipark.
Disgusting.
It was one of those Saiparks that's so good it was criminal. It was so good that people got mad at how good this Saipark was. I'm mad at how good this Saipark was.
I mean, you don't really have much of a choice. Like, if you're a Temtem player, I mean, this is basically, you have to be here. Like, you essentially have to go to Saipark and try for this, because you're never going to get 12 times odds at this. The first comment here, for example, I'm not sure if Lucas has played much Temtem or not, or knows the actual statistics, but it's a 1 in 13,333 chance, as they say. And they're saying that it's not worth it because it's still less likely to get a 1 in 8,000, but you're looking at a Temtem that is generally 1 in 160,000. So a 13,000 chance on a 1 in 160,000 chance Temtem is pretty dang good.
If I could jump in real quick, Gaijin, just for all of the people who are listening to this on the podcast apps.
Thank you.
The Saipark is 3,600 Pansuns. You get 8 cards. And the 2 Tims that are inside of Saipark this week, 2i has a 20% spawn rate outside of the caves, and inside of the caves, Shuine has a 20% spawn rate. Both of them have a 3 times Luma rate, 0 SVs, and 0% chance at egg moves. And one of the reasons I think this is such like a criminally
While you're going through it
good
quick, you want to hit up the Temtem releases too, real fast?
What free Tim? Nobody free Tim this week.
Yeah,
Like-
seriously.
No, I'm kidding. I'll definitely. I got it up on my screen. So for the free Tim tiers, there was a 30 tier this week, which was probably the lowest we've ever seen. 100 tier, 190 tier, and 375 tier. For the 30 tier, there's Super Scents, 4 of them. For the 100 tier, there's Weakener Yuzu's fruits. And for the 190 tier, there's the Anna pink dye, which looks like a hot pink color. And then for the pastel pink. And then for the 375, there's the Vitality DNA strands. All in all, I don't think it was even worth the time to free Tim this week for the rewards that are there. If you don't free Tim, you're not missing out on much. I like even if you breed a lot, there's easier ways to make that 15k that you'd get for those Vitality DNA strands. And I think that was a very good choice by Crema because anytime, pretty much you have to choose between Saipark or free Tim for the type of content that's in the game right now. And
I'll be right back.
yeah, anytime you're free Timming this week, you're not hunting Luma 2i. And anytime you're not hunting Luma 2i, you're feeling bad about not getting Luma 2i.
Right this second, as I'm hunting, I'm feeling very bad about not getting Luma 2y.
Yeah,
So,
I'm right there with you. Like, it's going on my stream or on my web camera.
Everyone always laughs at me because I never get any Lumas. And the time that I did get a Luma, it's like that was like the lash, and it's like the only time where I've ever caught anything. Apart from I caught a Saipat like an hour later, but that's the only 2 I've ever caught, and I've got over 1,200 hours in the game.
I saw that clip
Oof.
when I tuned into your
Ooh,
stream.
that's
Somebody clipped it of when you ran into the Valash, and like I highly suggest anybody here go watch Josh Stryker's stream just to see that moment, because it is pure, just unadulterated bliss of just like you jump out of your chair and it's just like it's a Luma. And I get that. I feel it.
So do you only have
Gaijin.
2 Lumas? Do you only have 2 Lumas total? Those 2?
2 OTs.
Sure.
Funnily enough, I actually have one of the most in the Tempedia. So I've got 71 Tems in the Tempedia, or 72 now in the Tempedia because of trading, because I do the auctions. So I obtain the Tems
Right.
from other people, but they're not mine. Like they're other people's. So I don't own the Tems, but the
Sure.
game thinks I have caught
Wow.
them.
1,200
So if you
hours and only 2 captured Lumas.
2 OTs, yeah, 2 OTs,
That's
yeah.
terrible luck.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, to be fair, like I spent a lot of that time because I leave the game on when I'm not around sometimes. So a lot of that time is when I was asleep or AFK, and then a lot of that time as well, like because I do like auctions and stuff as well. I'm not always Luma hunting, so I've only really kind of got into Luma hunting like quite recently.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be the god of PvP for a while, and I still am.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, let's be real. You're the god of Gordon Ramsay at this point, right?
yeah. I have Gordon Ramsay a feature on the show a few times. Yeah, this is true.
We had Tsubaki as an interview just a couple of days ago as a supplemental, and I called him the king of PvP. But little do people really know, we're having the true king of PvP was going to be on today.
No, the god of PvP.
God, yeah. Tsubaki may be the king of PvP, but Josh Stryker, the god of PvP.
Yeah. Josh Stryker anointed him. I want to show
God is better
Josh
than
Stryker
king.
versus Tsubaki.
Oh, yeah, it'll be close, but I think we all know who would win.
Yeah, no need to say it out loud. No need to even say it
everyone
out
knows.
loud.
Everyone knows. So
He's
Yeah.
lucky. He's lucky you couldn't play in your own tournament that you were hosting. Otherwise, he wouldn't have won.
He wouldn't have won. No, he wouldn't have had 2 million of my Pansons. So now he does.
I think we all have a lot to say about this Saipark when we get into what we've been up to this
Yeah.
week. So do we want to move on to the next bit of
Yeah,
news?
yeah, I do want to move on to the next one. We're going to come back to Luma hunting. So I think that's going to be one of the main things we talk about. Me and Kenny have some ideas and just some opinions. Before we move on, the official Luma report, though, in case anyone that wasn't following us throughout the week, I got my Luma 2i at 1,001 Luma 2i encounters exactly. Ominous number. Gaijin, you got yours just on Thursday while we were interviewing Tsubaki.
Yeah, like 5,800 total encounters, and I think it was just shy of 1,000 2i.
Yeah, I think I was around 4,000 to 5,000.
And it was
well.
on my alt account, which means I'm going to give it away because that's what the alt account's for. So, Luma 2i giveaway and Luma 2i egg giveaway on Monday.
That'll be the highest value Luma giveaway you've done, correct?
Yeah.
Has anyone else given away that valuable of a Luma, I wonder? People might have.
Somebody that was leaving the game did give Magical. So the Magical one did win a Luma Barnshee with 3 egg moves.
They don't need more Lumas. They got enough as is.
No, I mean, so the person that was giving it away said, don't sell it. And if anybody in the Temtem community, of all people, I think Magical is the best one to have it. Not saying everyone would sell it, just I know Magical will not.
True. No, it's congratulations.
What does he have? What did he give away?
A 5%, so a Luma Barnshee with all 3 egg moves.
Oh, nice.
Which we were talking about. I'm not even sure how they got that. It must have. Was it? I was thinking it had to be.
It was bred.
Right. It had to be random.
It was 1 in 80, 1 in 800, or 1 in 8,000.
Was it just 2 random Barnshees with the egg moves and the 1 in 8,000 chance to be or was it a 3 egg move Barnshee with a Luma?
And an Adoraboros.
Okay. Oh, so you can't see that from the pairs. So that means the Adoraboros maybe was a Luma then, right? In theory.
We have no idea. I mean, odds are they were both Lumas. I mean, that's the best theory because a 1 in 8,000 popping an egg move from a Barnshee is just absurdly low. So it can happen, but
So we have the Luma Kings on top of screen, and we have the Luma Peasants below us who have not gotten any 2Is.
See, I actually want to say, Josh, there's a reason you don't have a Luma 2i, and it's specifically because of Vonlin. Last night, we were talking about going on to the stream today, and I'm like, I'm going to be the only co-host without a Luma 2i this week, even though, I spent all week farming for it. And Vonlin said, no, don't worry. Maybe Josh won't get one too.
I want to get one whilst we're doing the show, and then I'm going to do a screen share and show everyone just for the ultimate flex.
Yeah, get it right.
There we go.
That's like a Josh Stryker thing, to flex. So I'm gonna do the ultimate flex, catch a Luma 2y, and just win. That's basically the objective here.
So the next news item is perfect for this, and that's that my favorite, and I think most people's favorite Temtem tracker got an update this last week. Let me pull it up here. This is just a quick reference. And this is if you see this, you're at the right location. Maybe someone will be so kind to drop a link in chat for those watching live. But for those that don't know, there's a tracker that we've talked about it before, but there's a tracker that will automatically track your encounters without having to manually push a key. Some people like manually pushing keys. Some people don't like using trackers. But if you do like using trackers, you should get this update. And guys, why don't you talk about what they updated with this in this update? Because I think you're the most excited about it.
Okay, yeah. So in the version 4.0 update, they actually added statistics. So it keeps track of your current hunt session, how long you've hunted in total for the day, how many encounters you get per day, and then it puts it all in these neat little graphs that show you your overall encounters for each day and your hours of playtime and stuff like that. Just trying to give you a little bit more detail and information about your overall play for that week, which I think is really cool because one of the biggest things I think with people in Luma hunting is most people probably do not get as many encounters.
I'm looking across screen down to Kennedy as we say this. This is why I wanted to transition to this at this time. Kennedy, I'm looking at you here. Go on, Gaijin.
So I think most people do not get as many encounters as they
I'm saying Kennedy. Kennedy is the type of guy. I think this is Kennedy's problem. The joke I'm making is I think you've tried hard. I don't think you've tried hard enough, and I think you need to run a tracker all week before you get too salty. That's the whole point I'm trying to make here.
I remembered right now, it's like, Vonlin's going to joke on me, even though I am Luma hunting on stream and everybody can see how fast I'm running into encounters and running away.
How many
Gage
hours?
and Boo, I've got a question for you about the tracker.
Sure.
Yeah. So I see that you use 2 accounts when you're farming. Does the tracker pick up both encounters off the 2 accounts?
That's why it's such a good tracker. That's why it's amazing.
Yeah. I think there was a bug for a little while. I think it's been fixed, but I think there was a bug where if there were 4x3 windows instead of 16x9 windows, it would not track them both. But it does track both windows. So as soon as you click into one window, it automatically tracks those, and then you switch to the other, it automatically tracks the ones that are there. So it will do both.
Because I tried doing both, and it was registering 2Ys as platoxes.
Oh no!
And then it wasn't registering some of them at all. So I was having a few issues with the update.
Run your windows by?
It was 800. So I can't remember the exact one, but I made them both.
Look at that Google plug.
I changed.
Are you getting paid by Google for that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so I changed the aspect, I think, to 768, and then I changed it even smaller to a little bit smaller as well, just to see if that helped. To 800 by 600, yeah, and it didn't seem to work.
Maybe hit up Silver on the Temtem Discord, and see if they can help, because I believe Silver is the developer for it.
It's
okay.
It's the best. I've only experimented with a few, but I've had more troubles with other ones, and it's the best. But people have reported to me some issues with it still. One person had it crashing. One person had swallies showing up, but generally speaking, it works well.
So it will pick up text on screen. So like if you open up your Tempedia and stuff, like its whole goal is to pick up text for at certain areas of the screen, I believe. So that's how it keeps track of the Temtem that you're encountering. I'm not 100% sure. I've never dug into the code or asked how it actually works, but I'm pretty sure it just looks.
I'll have to speak to the developer, see if he could.
So I'm guessing
help me out.
With the window sizes you might be using.
Or the size of my monitor, maybe, because I've got quite a small monitor. So I was thinking maybe it's because have you got quite a large monitor?
Yeah, I've got a 32 inch monitor that's 2560 by 1440. So I do 2 windows side by side that are a 1280 by 720.
Yeah. That's probably something to do with it.
Yeah, so I think the stats that the developers implemented into the tracker is really cool, because it shows people how long you've actually hunted that day, how many encounters you actually got into, and I think that's going to help people put it into perspective, because this week it's a 1 in 13,000 chance to find a Luma 2i or a Luma Schween. So unless you're hitting 13,000 encounters, you're still under odds. So most people aren't really realizing that. I think they see, 3 times Luma rate. Well, it still has a 20% spawn rate. So
I'd love it if they put that information somewhere for people to access, so they know, like, going into it, what to expect. Temtem saying, the average number of encounters needed to get one of these Tems is X. So going into it, that's what it's going to take.
Average number of encounters, people would still expect it. That's the problem. Is if you give somebody a number like that, there's going to be people that go into it and just like, okay, well, I didn't get any in this amount of time, so Scam Park.
but maybe a little bit like saying a disclaimer saying, if you don't get one, it's not guaranteed. You might get one sooner or later, etc. But these are the numbers, and just so kind of thing.
I totally do agree with that. I feel like most people think that when they see 12 times Luma odds, they assume it's guaranteed, or just they assume Saipark is guaranteed Lumas, and it's not the case. I mean, even if it was 3 times odds on Toxolotl with a 100% spawn rate, there were people that still didn't get it. It's not a guarantee. It's a chance. Yes, the chances are better, but there's still a good chance you're going to have really bad luck.
Well, yeah, because when I see a ×3, I'm like, yeah, like we're going to get this.
Easy, right?
And then, yeah, easy claps, and we'll get it. We'll get a couple, why not? Or I get one, and then we'll go get the other one. And then you end up walking away with nothing, and you're just thinking, damn, I've just wasted a whole week.
Yeah, we got some great ideas about that. The hit in a bit, but I want to give Kennedy a chance to defend himself. I've been throwing a lot of shade at him. My claim is that you're not hunting as much as you think you are. You're not doing as many encounters as you think you are. But you started with a tracker late in the week. What's your rebuttal to all of this?
Oh, well, what I was gonna say was I've been Luma hunting this morning since I got up in between getting ready for the stream. And then I've been Luma hunting all on stream. And then when we started talking about the Tem tracker, I was like, Vonlin's going to ask me what my encounters are at. And then he's going to joke on me for them being low. And I actually just opened it. So right now I am at 1,967.
That's total encounters only. Yeah,
total encounters since Thursday afternoon. A total of 19 hours since Thursday afternoon of doing nothing.
You did 2,000 encounters in 19 hours only? Your timer's wrong. It must have been running when you weren't hunting.
Yeah, I mean, I also hunt while I'm at work. So
that's what I don't think you're getting that many encounters. I've done 10,000 encounters this week, just saying, by comparison. And guys, I don't know where you're at, but
I've been forgetting to turn. I'm terrible. I always forget to turn on the tracker, or I hunt remotely from my phone when I'm not in my room, because I don't have AC in my room and it gets ridiculously hot. It's like 95 degrees today, so
can relate.
I'm gonna die. But so I try not to run my PC if I'm not in my room. So I'll just.
But what do you think of his 2,000 number in 3 days?
I mean, so this is just I think so. This is definitely the hardest that Kennedy has ever Luma hunted.
That's true.
So for example, how many hours did you Luma hunt during Nesla Valash?
I didn't care about those Lumas as much as 2i, and I did probably about 10 hours that week, like in total. There's
people that have been in my chat that have done like 80 plus hours this week.
Yeah, I want to note that as soon as the Luma week was announced Sunday night, I started Luma hunting for an hour and a half. From Sunday night, I Luma hunted all day Monday while I was working, because I work remotely. And so, I was able to work on one screen and Luma hunt on the other screen, which was a whole 8 hours. I played D&D, but I don't dungeon master my Monday night group. So in my Monday night group, the whole time during D&D, I was Luma hunting in the background. Tuesday, had a half a day of work, did all of my stuff at work, and then Luma hunted for the second half of the day.
All I gotta say,
Wednesday,
Kennedy,
I did not have to work with the kids that day.
We don't want to hear these stories.
Wednesday,
we want to hear the encounter number. We want to hear the encounter number.
I know I'm
next week. Next week, run the tracker all week.
Over 30 hours this week of just pure Luma hunting.
This is the most Kennedy has played in a week. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Kennedy. They're doing a good job. But it's still not enough.
Run a tracker the whole week next time, and then we can talk, and you'll be rewarded with the Luma. But listen, I got to move us away from this topic. We're gonna come back to Lumas. Yeah, go ahead. One more thing. Go ahead.
Check the Discord messages for a second too, when you can.
I can't, because we'll lose the cameras. So
gotcha.
You'll have to get it to me some other way. So yeah, if I do, whisper me on Twitch. Whisper me on Twitch.
All right.
All right. So, unless you can just say it. Or you don't want to say it.
Yeah, they're just saying to turn on studio mode, because all the webcams are in front of the overlay instead of behind the overlay.
All right, we'll do this live. Help me. Where is the option for this?
It should be right under the start recording. Should be a studio mode option or something.
Oh, here we go. Is that better? Someone's gonna have to let me know live. And there might be a delay.
There is a delay.
We'll see when it
let me know.
Live.
Okay. So the other bit of news, moving away. Everyone's like, all right, stop talking about Saipark and Lumas. None of us got our Luma 2Is. Shut up. All right, we'll move on. We'll come back to it.
I mean, we can keep talking about Luma 2i.
No, please don't. Let's move on.
Yeah, new topic.
So I'm pulling this up, so I bear with me. We're new show format. You got to be a little flexible. I think I pulled up the news, but because I'm in studio program now, I'm not 100% sure if it worked. So I'm not seeing it pulled up. We'll have to work on the studio mode afterwards because it's not pulling up into Chrome. Sorry, producers in the background yelling at me. So here's the next bit of news is a tweet. I think this is cool. It's a tweet from them saying. Sorry, you guys are getting me all flustered in my head. So on the Temtem Twitter, they said, "One step for man, one giant leap for tamers. From next patch onward, you'll finally be able to input the desired amount right away. This was one of the most requested quality of life improvements so far, so no more pressing an arrow till your finger hurts." And they're talking about in trades, you no longer... Josh, they did this like 2 weeks too late for you, man. You can now type in the amount of Pansons you want to trade rather than pushing the arrows and waiting. How long did it take you to pay out 2 million Pansons to
5.5 million, actually.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, but that one trade was 2 million alone, right? I can only imagine how long that took.
Yeah, that took a while. So I spent... That whole tournament took me 8.5 hours. So for those that don't know, I host a tournament called the World Cup. And we did the first ever double elimination Temtem tournament. Because of the amount of people that we had in the tournament, we had 61 participants.
Yeah, I almost forgot. I'm sorry, Josh.
It went on for 8.5 hours. I was
going to introduce you at the very beginning and mention this as part of... You're a Twitch streamer, but you also... One of the reasons we wanted to have you on right now is you just hosted the World Cup tournament, which was the largest payout of Pansons a tournament's ever seen, with 5.5 million Pansons on the line for reward. It happened last Sunday. Anyone that follows the show should know all about it. We talked about it beforehand. I played in it. I put up a video of it. We interviewed Tsubaki. But yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, you're the guy behind that giant tournament. You hosted it. You paid out all that money. So with that credential thrown up, I'm sorry to cut you off to continue your train of thought there, but just so everyone's aware of your connection to that.
Yeah, no worries. So the tournament took 8.5 hours, and it took me an extra hour after the tournament finished to do the payouts. So I think the 2 million took about 20 minutes to send. So having this function where you can type the actual amount in, it would have been really, really useful. But I do think they should have had that sooner. I'm surprised that it wasn't available from the day one. So I don't really see any reason why they delayed that function being put into the game. So
I bet they weren't imagining people paying out 5.5 million Pansons. They probably didn't anticipate that.
I'm really thinking that they weren't expecting the values that they're seeing for certain Temtem and also these tournaments. I don't think anybody expected a 5.5 million Pansons.
That's surprising for me to hear because I casted that tournament with you, Josh, and I was there from start to finish of at least the brackets. You
did a great job as well, man. Like you carried the commentary for me, man. I would have been lost.
But like I was thinking, I thought it was like a 7.5 hour tournament. Wow, I was more tired than I thought. But yeah, just hearing how long it took you to do payments, because I left before you started doing payments. Brutal. Like that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it took a whole hour to get the payments done. Everyone was exhausted afterwards. Some of the guys did. I think Tsubaki had to play
a lot of matches.
One guy. Yeah, I mean, Tsubaki would have had to play at least 15 or 16 matches.
Yeah, at least
to get to the final. Maybe even more because he had to play Dave again because he beat him. And then he had to play him again. Best of three. Yeah, so the winner of the losers bracket. So initially Dave knocked out Tsubaki, and Tsubaki then went into the losers bracket. Had to fight someone in the losers bracket to get back into the winners bracket, and then he had to fight Dave again. He then beat Dave, and then they had to play again another best of 3. So they actually did 3 best of 3s.
I got tired just watching
each
it.
other.
I just got tired of watching. I can't playing it. By the way, producers, are you happy? I fixed your problem with another solution. I hope you guys can all hopefully relax behind the scenes.
Did you say you got tired of watching it?
No, I didn't get tired of watching it. I just got tired of watching. Yeah, I got tired, just mentally fatigued myself,
Noted.
and like it's so many matches.
Small Chameleon, hold on one second. Small Chameleon says, "I wish I watched that. I believe you can still watch it on Josh Stryker's channel.
It'll be in my VODs. Yeah, it'll be in my VODs.
Go check.
If it's
Josh
not deleted.
Yeah, Small, go check it out.
MCA.
You can the full casted tournaments there, and then I also on the TemTalk channel, I have my own matches as well as I watched a few of the finals and put that in there. So there's select matches there, but go support Josh for putting that on and watch his full VOD on his channel and give him a. We're gonna plug you at the end of the show, Josh, but now's the perfect segue. Where can people find more of you online and this and anything else you're doing in that time?
So it's twitch.tv/Josh Stryker. I'm also on Twitter, which is Josh Stryker X. They're the main two that I'm around. Not so much Twitter, but always Twitch every weekday.
I'm gonna lead by example, and I'm gonna go follow you on Twitter right now.
What'd you say, Gajan?
I linked Josh already.
Oh, perfect. You already good. So yeah, so I do agree, Josh. Back to this feature, I mean, I don't think they're planning on that much money, but I do think it seems like if you're making an MMO and a trade feature, you think keying manually would have made more sense to plan it from the get go. But yeah, they weren't thinking about that amount, obviously. But we're gonna have it soon, at least, right? So better late than never.
I mean, once it's implemented, can you send me 2 million pan suns and we'll see how quick it is?
Yeah, we'll test it.
Yeah.
We'll test it.
Yeah.
Josh, you don't have a lot of pan suns left anymore. It looks like. I imagine after that.
I've got a few. I mean, one guy didn't collect his 250.
Okay.
I've been trying to chase him. His name's Calvary. So if anyone knows a Calvary,
just send it to me. I'll get it to him.
250,000 pansuns. So yeah, if anyone could reach out to him, then yeah, I've got his pansuns. So
I guess that should be like a cool thing we can do on TemTalk Weekly of just like tamers missing and our missing tamers section. Yeah.
If he doesn't collect it in the next 5 minutes, it's mine though. Yeah. That's the deal.
Please call this Discord user if you've seen this tamer walking around on the Airborne Archipelago.
Let's move to our next news item. So this is something I just found out about recently. Some people may know about. I think slightly controversial. I'll let you guys tell me if I'm wrong. But one of the things that I really liked about Temtem early on was the no pay to win whatsoever. Their model that their microtransactions were going to be all cosmetic, nothing to speed the game up, nothing to skip progress, no buying Tems or stats on Tems. But then I found out as I was Luma hunting and watching people with Luma starters, I was like, how do people have Luma starters? How do people have Luma starters? I don't understand. They're so rare. And then people pointed out to me that if you look at their original Kickstarter way back in the alpha, that they actually had a package for $700 where you got all 3 starters as Lumas. And this was only for, I understand, for a short period of time. And
for the Kickstarter only. Yeah,
it was only for the Kickstarter, and very early on during their alpha, and they're trying to fund it. So I'm not calling shade out at them, but I do think it's interesting to talk about this.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, they are the original RMT. I mean, it's okay for them to do it. I mean, come on, guys.
Right.
just kidding.
But and my understanding was this was these were only tradable during the alpha, so you can't trade them now, or maybe it was during the beta, but they're not tradable now, these Luma starters. You can't sell them to other players to trade them anymore. You could for a brief time. But for $700, you got 3 starter Tems and their Luma variations. Your choosing starter will be Luma, and you'll receive the other 2 Luma starters later in the game. You'll also get an in-game title. And the rest of these backing options, I think, are really cool. You could become an NPC. You could help design. You get something from an artist. You could be one of the dojo NPC trainers. You could design a route, or you could even help design a Temtem, which I think that's how Plat talks. Someone donated the 6,000 and used Plat, I think, for that, right? Plat, am I right about that?
It was Volerand. It was Volerand.
Was it?
That was that was player designed.
But anyway,
I'm not sure about Saipark, but Volerand was definitely designed. by a player.
So I
Also,
don't know.
you can get a free Pig Epic plushie as well, which I've seen a few people with.
I can't find ire, I guess, with people who were able to get these rewards. Like, I wish I would have known what Temtem was.
Would you have dropped the $700?
I definitely would have.
I definitely think so, because I am a huge fan of these types of games. And especially like Temtem just leans itself so well to the strategic element of monster collection and battling. And that's probably the thing that I feel is most lacking when I play other games in like this area of just like it's very hard to, really depend on any strategy without elements of RNG affecting it. That's my favorite thing about Temtem. If when you go into a battle, it is just your mind against your opponent's mind. And of course, the team composition that you've brought. And I love Temtem so much as I get into it. And when I learned about it, I was like, this is fantastic. But I learned about it from an MMO channel that I was watching that was just like, oh, in 4 days, this is coming out. And I was like, wait, what is this? And why have I not heard about it since, this moment? So shout out to everybody that did find Temtem and did back it on Kickstarter and did get these rewards. I can't be mad. I can't, say anything. So, all that I hope is that Crema doesn't close the door on people who would have supported them, if they had the option. So I hope that there are more events in game where players can get, really, really cool, unique stuff.
So you just heard it here first. Kennedy wants Crema to sell Lumas to players for dollars.
No, I don't. I don't want Crema to sell Lumas to players. But like Holiday,
but
but
you're okay with them doing it in the Kickstarter.
Well, no. So hold on. Before we go any further,
real quick, before you guys cut me off, let me finish this thought. I don't remember seeing anything inside of the roadmap for holiday events. And in MMOs, those are some of the best ways to give players unique items throughout the history of the game. Of just like, it is Christmas. We're going to have a Christmas event. Everybody who does this gets a special candy cane hat. And then the Christmas event is over and you can't get the candy cane hat. But thank you for playing our game at this time. You now have a candy cane hat. And I hope they do more things like that. Like, we couldn't support the game at this time because we weren't playing at this time.
Not necessarily
like the emotes you get on Twitch, like the seasonal ones where you get like random. If you support someone, you get a random emote, like the hype train and the happy holidays.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm not saying
if you're active, you get something for being in the game, basically.
Yeah. I'm not saying $700 you get a Luma.
I like that. I like that because it's like, you know what? You haven't paid. It's not pay to win, but it's like rewarding people who are actively playing the game.
Exactly.
You get something out of it, but
so, yeah,
it's not pay to win. Cool. I'd like that.
Some timed events would be really cool for people, and having some cosmetic items that are purchasable. I think that'd be really cool. I'm sure they're going to do some kind of holiday type thing. I mean, they did the Bun in Madrid for Easter. I thought that was really cool. So they've already done something for people that were playing during that time, because Bun in Madrid were an extra Luma week right after a Luma week. So they messed up the whole schedule just to put Bun in Madrid there. But what they were saying also about the starters that people were able to purchase, they do not have 3 SVs. When they are bred, they do not count as Lumas. They're just counted as regular Tems. They are technically just a skin. So you're not actually getting a Luma. It looks like a Luma, sure, but it doesn't have the stats, and it does not breed like a Luma either. So.
Well, interestingly enough, if you breed Lumas, it won't actually give you the Luma you get will inherit the stats from the parents. So you're not guaranteed if you got like really bad stats, then you're not guaranteed to get free SVs from the hatched egg. If you see what I'm saying, it won't. You won't get though. Like a normal Luma you catch in the wild will give you free 50 SVs, right. But if you breed, you're not guaranteed that those stats from the egg.
Well, these ones
Breeding
don't
still
even
works
have
the
that.
same way. It just works the same way as breeding does. It just, if you have a Luma, you have 3 better stats on each parent. Not necessarily meaning you're going to get 3 better stats on your offspring.
Exactly. Yeah. But the start of they're purely cosmetic, and they're untradeable. And yeah, I think it's kind of normal stats. So I mean, if you can't trade something, then it's not really valuable, in my opinion. It's just it's just a kind of a flex, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I
Because
think
you
that was a
can't.
smart way
There's
to
no
do it.
actual tangible
I
sell
don't know
value.
if I
of
agree with
item.
that. I mean, because I think it might not be Pansun value, but I think there's. I mean, Gaijin, if there was a Luma that, if you knew they did a Luma Saipark week of, I don't know, what they've already done some crazy ones, but if they did like 5% Gaialis Lumas, but you couldn't trade them, but they had really increased odds, you would still really want that Luma.
Well,
out of
see,
Saipark.
so what he's
And it would have a
saying
lot of value.
is they don't technically
I mean, you could sell
they
the
don't have a
account on
market
eBay.
value. They don't. No, don't. That's RMT. You can't do that.
Then you get some value out of that one, I'm sure.
But no, what he's saying is that it doesn't technically have any value. You can't sell it. It's a technically worthless town,
All right.
but sentimentally it has a value.
I get that
to
argument, but
you,
let me
and
counter it
that's
this way. Would that make it okay for them to sell Lumas now that you couldn't trade? I think you guys would be upset about that, would you not? If they said,
Well,
hey,
no, that's not what he's saying. Those Lumas there, those are the only ones that are untradeable, and I think that was a smart idea for them to do.
I think it's a good idea. My point is, I'm a little. You guys are a little more forgiving than me on this topic, I think, towards them. I'm not upset about it. I think Crema was in a state where the game hadn't blown up as large as it had.
Kickstarter.
What's that?
If you knew about the Kickstarter, you'd be singing a different tune.
No, well, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Their whole big spiel is that there's no pay to win transactions, and I think they have this little tiny blotch in their history where they misstepped a little bit. I agree, it's not that big of a deal.
It's just a skin.
No,
it's
but
not tradable. It
you-
doesn't breed Lumas. It doesn't give you increased odds, and it doesn't have better stats.
But that's my point. But so if it's totally okay, then would it be okay for them to offer more of these now?
No, I don't think so.
That's just to start the game, which I think is totally understandable. People need something. So people that have helped, they are the reason this game exists. The people that backed this game are the reason it exists. It's fair to think that they get some special cosmetic that other people don't have. You're able to get that same cosmetic later in game once the whole game's released. You can get yourself a Luma Crystal now. You can get yourself a Luma Hoochik and Smazy later. Like, you can get that cosmetic. It's not something that's intangible for you to ever get. You can still get that.
So you're okay with it because it's in the time. It'll be because it was pre-launch. You feel it was okay for them to make this move.
The whole point of Kickstarter is to back the game, and by doing so, you get special rewards. I mean, every Kickstarter ever has done something similar. The whole thing is you're supposed to get something special by helping make the game a reality, and I think that is perfectly acceptable. Okay. They didn't give them better stats. They didn't make them breedable. They didn't make them tradable. So it's just a skin for the Temtem because you helped make this game possible, and I think that that's important. So I don't think it's a misstep. I think it's they needed to do it, and without them doing something like that and giving people rewards that they actually wanted, we may not have Temtem at all. And I think it was a smart play.
Okay. Well, and I think it was going to be a controversial topic. When I picked this, I was like, man, this is going to get people a little heated. But I think it's worth interesting. But I think it's worth reviewing for that point and addressing it, and getting at all the sides of the argument on it. I mean, overall, I'm not really that bothered by it. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree with Gaijin of, these people are the reason Temtem exists. In the same note that they did this for the Kickstarter people, this is why I want them to continue to do, cosmetic events that don't, affect the overall gameplay of the game, but are just like a thank you for playing. Because all the early access players and the people who are logging on concurrently daily, are also contributing to the game continuing to breathe.
And streamers.
And streamers. And so everybody playing now, I think it would be super cool is like once Crema gets more of their feeding underneath them and they're back on track for their roadmap, that they have a thank you for everybody that has been playing.
I think they should, honestly do more with the streaming community, because we're the guys that are here streaming, playing the game, building that community of Temtem players day in, day out. And, there's guys like Plus OP and myself that have been doing it since week one. And also, Gaijin's been, there since the. Have you been since the start as well? You've been here for.
I've been playing since the start, but I didn't start streaming until February 9th. That was my first.
Yeah.
Stream.
So we've been streaming a long time, and we've been very loyal to Temtem. And without us, I don't know if they'd have the player, the dedicated people coming in playing the game every single day, because without us, they could just go, all right, I'm going to go play Pokemon today, I'm going to play some other game, because they're coming to watch the stream. They want to be involved in that community, and I think that's keeping them engaged with the actual game itself. And I don't think, I worked out at one point, I mean, numbers have dropped a little bit, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
At one point, I was streaming to about 50 to 60 average viewers, okay? And at one point, Temtem's total number of active players was 600. So I had 10% of the overall Temtem, market.
It's the Twitch community that's still playing a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, if I said I'm not playing this game anymore, I'm going to play another game, I reckon a good percentage of those people would actually join me and want to play with me in that next game. And that's not being arrogant, but I would say a percentage of those people would actually drop Temtem and not want to not play it until I come back to the game, because they want to be a part of that community. So I think that's a lot of influence, and I think that's not something which Temtem actually recognizes.
This is loosely something. This is loosely something I wanted to cover as a main topic in case we didn't have a guest this week. And I talked to Gaijin about it earlier in the week of like managing burnout. And Gaijin had a spectacular answer. There's a guy with like a big motorcycle going by right now on the highway outside my window. Yeah, I'll close it in a second. But anyways, Gaijin had a terrific answer when I asked him about it earlier. And he said one of the things that helps him manage burnout was, the community that he's formed around the game. And I thought about it, and it's kind of like the same for me, where like I'm very conscious of my burnout with Temtem, which is why I understand the amount of content in the game. And it is the main MMO I play. And most of the time I'll play an MMO for about 30 hours each week. But with Temtem, I'm very conscious, and I play for about 15 hours a week because I love the game so much. I don't want to burn out. But one of the things that really helps me just consistently keep playing is the community that we've formed with TemTalk, and then interacting with the rest of the community on Twitch through Temporium. I'm less active inside of the official Discord, but I lurk and, I'll chat every time I see something relevant to me or relevant to like the content I pursue in game. And communities are so important for an MMO that I do hope that they do more to support the communities. And I really appreciate some of the devs like Q Angel and Suki, who are very Suki's not a dev, she's the community manager, but they're very active in talking to the community. But yes, I do agree that like doing something to help build and solidify like the community around the game playing now is just something that as a small MMO developer, especially a small MMO that currently doesn't have a chat feature, even though I know it's coming in the next patch. Like,
but I would have liked them to say, look, you play this game day in, day out. I want to get your thoughts on what you want to see in the game in the next patch or the patch after that. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Like just bouncing some ideas off the community, of guys like myself and engaging and Plus OP, and think, that would be nice because they're actually recognizing that, okay, we do have some influence and some say and it's respecting the community that plays, that the hardcore community that has the most number of hours and knows the game the best. I think it would be a really smart move. And the only thing I've had from them is a ban. Like that's literally it. I got banned from Temtem.
Hey, wait. I remember when you got banned from Temtem in that wave of bans. You did get a ban from them, but you also got an on ban from them.
Wait, where's my ban? So all these streamers are getting banned. Where's mine? I mean, it's a little unfair.
I got unbanned within an hour and a half. But that's and you know, I did have I did the support thing, and I messaged the community manager, and she did push it along.
I don't know. We got video evidence now of you suggesting selling Lumas on eBay accounts and whatnot. Another ban incoming.
Let's not talk about it. Anyway, next topic. Let's move it on. Let's push it forward, guys.
I completely agree, though. I mean, I think we have a good pull in the community, and you know, I mean, we talk to daily all the biggest players. I mean, pretty much anybody that is a hardcore player for Temtem is in our chats. I mean, I'm pulling on good days mostly around 40 or so plus viewers. Plus is pulling 80. I know you can pull some huge numbers too for viewers, and you know, we talk to a lot of the biggest players in this game, and I know we all have these types of discussions, you know, like what we'd like to see, you know, what things that we'd like to see change and stuff. I mean, I've got 500 hours just since February 9th streaming, and I think you're right. It would be cool if they reached out and just, you know, asked us.
Yeah, it would motivate us as well to play the game more, because I don't know about everyone else, but this week, like, I've been burning out. Like, the burnout's been real. Let's not talk about 2Y. Like, we moved on from that, but it is like I'm feeling it. And you know, yesterday I had some like IRL stuff I had to take care of, but I was actually relieved a little bit that I didn't have to play Temtem all day, because you know I'm feeling the burnout. And if they just reached out and said, you know, Josh, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on that? It would like re-energize me to get that kind of passion back for the game, and be like, oh, I'm actually a part of this, and you know, they care about what we've got to say.
Some validation from the devs. I mean, I know that, you know, they're obviously busy and stuff, but and I know that, you know, streaming is probably not even nearly as close to as hard work as developing, but you know, streaming is work. I mean, as much as we love hanging out and talking with the community, you know, we do take time out of our day to do it, and it can be exhausting. I mean, 12-hour, 8-hour streams. It's a lot.
They know the importance. They know the importance of streams, because look at the launch day. You know, that they had the biggest numbers on Twitch.
I think we're talking in circles a little bit here. I think we're all in agreement that we'd like more community reach out from them, more engagement with streamers.
Yeah.
I want to leave us time for other topics, because I want to keep us moving along here. So this is a good transition.
I'm going to say let's come back to this when we talk about community events and tournaments.
Sure. So this is a good transition to moving to just community highlights and stuff that I found from the community, talking about burnout and avoiding it, and what people are doing in game. So let's move to that section out of the news here. So the item that I have here is a poll from a Reddit user that I thought was worth grabbing. I mean, it's just one poll off Reddit. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's worth looking at. It's worth getting the conversation going. Reddit user Sheet Valerie said, "How much do you free Tem? Sorry if the options are lacking." But then they put up a poll, and I voted on the poll, and then to see, just so I could see what the results were. And you know, they had some options like, I finish all of the free Tem rewards, I free Tem for cosmetic, sometimes doing all tiered, I free Tem for the Telmore hack Psy cards, or I don't free Tem, or other. And by far the largest vote was I don't free Tem. But there was like 170 people said I don't free Tem, 47 people said I free Tem for Telmore hacks, which I don't think is surprising, that's the second. And then 24 said for cosmetic, and only a few people said they'll do it all for anything. So what do you guys make of this? What do you think of this?
I personally like the cosmetics, but I think Telmore hacks are definitely the biggest draw. But the cosmetics that they've put into the game so far aren't anything new. You know, they're not something we can't already get, I don't believe, except maybe for the polka dot shirt or whatever. But I think most of the stuff that they put for cosmetics is just stuff that's already there. And, you know, I understand it would take time to make something new and add it to the game and all that. But I personally like the cosmetics. But the telomere hacks is a big draw for me, and generally the only reason, other than maybe dyes. Some of the dyes I really like, but for the most part, yeah, just mostly telomere hacks and some cosmetics.
I think if you had to choose between like getting a Luma, like a rare Luma, or getting telomere hacks, what are you gonna spend your time doing? I'd say Luma hunting. Like if I haven't caught a 2Y, I don't care what's in free tem. You know,
And you know,
I'm not, I'm gonna hunt that Luma. I'm not gonna spend any time doing free tem.
I agree, Josh.
Unless it's something really like, if it was something like exclusive that I could only get that week, like a cosmetic or something like that, then yeah, I would. But I think Lumas always take priority.
They didn't put anything good this week because they knew people weren't going to do it. There's no telomere hacks. There's the Aina pink dye, or Aina, or however you say it, and then like everything else is just
not worth very much.
There's not much.
Well, Kennedy was talking to me in Discord about how I was like, there's such a discrepancy in free tem Pansun value week to week, but he's like, I'm glad they do it because they do the low value ones, it seems, during the Luma hunting weeks, the increased Saipark Luma odds, and then on the weeks that there's not increased Luma odds, like last week when we didn't have increased odds, they had the 2 engineered DNA strands worth 20,000, the crystals worth 6,000. So it is kind of nice that it seems to say, okay, on the week you can Luma hunt this week, okay, you can't Luma this week, but free tem will be a little bit more. And it's not that people can't do Saiparks on the off weeks, but those non-Luma Saipark weeks don't require as much time. So you have more time for the free temp society. Anything else? I got another poll to go to. Unless any other thoughts on that, Kenny? I don't know if free temp poll.
Yeah, I only free tem when I'm ridiculously poor and I need a new tem for my team.
And you don't have any bets to collect.
Yeah, and I don't have that.
You can't collect money from guys under me.
The only reason I free tem is to pay back Kennedy.
So the other poll, so people were like decided to put a lot of polls up once they saw this first one. This is the second poll. There was a third poll that I didn't grab that we're not going to look at. But then Boxhead posted a poll on Reddit saying, "What activity you spend most of your time doing in Temtem?" And this poll had less activity. And I don't think with any poll, I don't think it's a great sample size of the entire game of Temtem. First of all, it's just people on Reddit and people that were on Reddit active at that time. But I still like looking at this as an indication of something. And so the votes came in. The lowest scored vote was repeating story, completing story. So the least amount of people spend their time doing that. Followed by filling the Tempedia. And then the next was breeding, closely matched with free tem. And then comp battles was just a little bit ahead of that. And triple any of the other categories was Luma hunting. Luma hunting was at the very top of this poll's results for what people are doing in game, especially right now, I think. So does this surprising to you guys? I think this is pretty anticipated. I thought comp battles might be a little higher, but
can I bring up a dirty topic again that's going to get some aggression?
Oh, we've got a lot of aggression already today.
Slap on the mature label, because apparently we're talking dirty.
So there is a way that, and we've given Crema a lot of like negative feedback, I guess, this episode. And I do want to say I do appreciate all the things Crema does to make this game. And in terms of feedback, they are really active on the feedback and suggestion forums, where if you have like a feedback or a suggestion, somebody there will likely talk to you about it from Crema. And how Crema, though, communicates to the player base and their repeated stance on Luma hunting, where they understand Luma hunting is not fun right now. And the reply that I see most often about it is it's an optional part of the game and you don't have to Luma hunt if you don't want to. And I think that's one of the dirtiest responses, because it feels like an employer saying to an employee of just like, oh, if you don't like this, you don't have to work here. Yeah. And it's just like, this is the game I enjoy and the game I want to play. And right now, the only content that is available to me is Luma hunting, because nobody in their right mind is queuing on.
They've said that about a few things though, and it's not just Luma hunting. They've also said that about comp. So one of the guys who's asked them about the competitive scene, etc. And
even with competitive, like right now with competitive, there was somebody in the Temporium channel who's not like a super high like ladder player who queued into ladder and had a 10-minute queue, which you're only supposed to get like when you get above like 1700 or 1800 TMR, because this week everybody is Luma hunting, and so it doesn't it's not respectful to your time to even try and do anything other than Luma hunting. And then if you think this week, so if I don't want to Luma hunt, I can do other things. I can make money in game. Well, what's the best way to make money? Selling a 5 million, Pansun Luma 2Y. So if I want to breed this week, what are people buying? Luma eggs. So I have to go get a Luma to, get Luma eggs because that's the market. Everybody has all of their competitive Tims right now. I can't comp battle because all of the good players, are Luma hunting right now. And it's just like the response is you don't have to Luma hunt. You don't have to Luma hunt if you don't want to, but that's the only content that we're being presented with right now until more content gets added to the game. And I think like there really needs to be a hot fix or something done about it to just make it interesting or more fun to address for the player base. That like we understand that lots of people don't want to Luma hunt right now. We also understand it's one of the only avenues for the casual player to really engage with our game. So until we get more content, this is what we're going to do for people Luma hunting. And that would I feel like that would ease so many tensions, because unfortunately, like in this poll, everybody who watches TemTalk knows me as a competitive player, but I have bajillions of more hours spent Luma hunting in this game than I have of time that I've spent in queue, on ladder, or just in any type of battle, because that's the content that's available to me.
Yeah, I mean, so I believe they are working on a way to make it more interactive and not as bad. I do personally think that that's a bad response because I mean, yes, it's a choice, but basically that choice can mean the difference between someone playing Temtem or not playing Temtem. So essentially by saying it's a choice, they're saying play the game or don't, because for some people that's all they want to do is Luma hunt. And I mean, I understand. I don't want the odds to increase. I don't want it to really be easier. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it. I like the idea of bad luck protection or whatever, but like it's supposed to be a reward. Like it's not supposed to be something that everybody just has walking around, because then what's the point if everybody has one anyway? But like at the same time, I've gone 36 days without a Luma on my main account. 36 days. I feel like that's pretty bad luck, because everybody knows how much I play and all I do is Luma hunt. But yeah, I mean, I don't like that response. I completely agree. I think there needs to be a more
I'm going to just put a little pin, Gaijin. Shadows said something in chat that I want to come back to and answer when you're done.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm pretty much done. I don't like that response, because essentially for a lot of people, because I feel like, so I know this is an MMO and we're not really there yet. It's not truly an MMO at this point. There's no end game content. There's no weekly, daily goals, missions, etc. It's just free Tem weekly. And then you either do competitive or you do PvP. And essentially that's what Pokemon is. You either shiny hunt or you do competitive. And that's the only two players in this game. Luma hunters and PvP players. Those are the only people here, or new players. So saying play or don't is you basically saying don't play the game if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shadow said Crema has already heard about this feedback, and Yaw, the game director, has already confirmed a more active and dynamic way to increase odds and reduce RNG, which should make it less frustrating. I do understand that, Shadows, that they are going to, like, we're not at the end state of the game, and we're nowhere near it, and they're going to add more content to the game. But as far as the content that is available right now, I think like there needs to be an understanding that out of what we're playing right now, I don't have the holistic like answer to this, but just we're Luma hunting now. That's what we have the option to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more interesting ways in the future. But until we get to that future, the community needs a Band-Aid for this activity that pretty much most of the community is forced into. And if the answer to that problem is don't Luma hunt, if you don't want to Luma hunt, so that means for me this week, don't play Temtem, because I can't competitive queue, if every queue is going to take 10 to 15 minutes for me to play, and then every competitive game I play is essentially 10 to 15 minutes of playing the game. So the queues are essentially as long as the game. So half the time that I'm playing the game, I'm sitting around doing nothing.
Well, you could be Luma hunting in the queue.
No, you can't Luma hunt in the queue, because if you get into a Temtem encounter, it cancels the queue.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a really bad feature. I think they need to
Maybe
fix
they
that.
should change that.
They need to change that ASAP. That would
Well,
help the
because
competitive
what
queue a
happens if
lot.
somebody's in a Luma encounter and maybe they stepped away, or that other person that's queuing up could be sitting there for another 10 minutes just because someone is not paying attention to.
No,
So
it would auto put you into it just like normal, and then resume you back to your encounter in the wild. That's what.
I don't know.
I consider myself an artist. I write. I've written novels before. I write and publish short stories. I'm working on a webcomic. I live stream D&D on YouTube. As an artist, I feel like the last thing I would ever want to do is tell somebody, don't consume my art. Like, that is the ickiest, bad feeling.
Here,
I think I could have.
Let me do this. I want to jump around a little bit to our game suggestion / idea effect, since we're talking about this and it's right on this topic. And Josh, I want to hear a little bit more from you on it. But let's go ahead. We're gonna jump around a little bit. We'll come back to the stuff above here. Well, let's talk, since we're already talking about this. One of the fixes that we were talking about a lot in Discord as an idea for Luma hunting was what our idea for changing it right now. And this isn't about increasing odds necessarily. I mean, it is a little bit, but the idea that, and this was again, me and Kenny were talking back and forth and iterating the idea, but the idea was.
Ooh, this makes you excited. Can I introduce it, Conlon? I know I've been talking about
Let me set it up. Let me set it up. I like this final version of it. So the idea being that Saipark is a park, right? Or a refuge or a safari park, whatever you want to call it. That it makes sense that in-game lore that they want the Tems there, that they could be being studied, for instance, by professors or something. So the idea that we kind of finally arrived on, there was a train of thought, but my final iteration of it, and maybe Ken will suggest different versions of it, is have a professor character in Saipark that you can talk to that's going to say, hey, will you help us observe these 2 Tems that are going to be in the park for this week? We want to observe them in the wild. For every 1,000 encounters that you spot these and observe them, we're going to give you something. Or maybe it's every 2,000, every 3,000, every 5,000, who knows. But every so many encounters, physical encounters, we're going to give you some kind of reward. So that if someone puts in 10,000 encounters and doesn't get a Luma, they still get the reward from this. And that reward, who knows what it could be, but our thought is maybe that consumable item that lasts for an hour that increases your Luma odds just a little bit for the next week. And every 2,000 encounters, you get an hour worth of time on that, or something that, so it's in the game lore, and it gives you something so you don't totally feel skunked. You don't feel like you completely wasted your week, and it's a little bit of bad luck protection, but not necessarily. Yep. Kenny, I know you got a lot to say on this, but I want Josh's jokes. I want to throw it to Josh first, just because make sure you get a chance to comment on this. So what do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I actually think I was going to mention that earlier. That would be a really nice mechanic to have a counter in game, so you can see how many encounters you're doing without using like a third party. Because I think that's a really important thing that people like to keep track of. And with that, I think that a good reason to do that would be to offer some sort of reward. So you could have like an in-game tracker. And then you could anytime look at how many encounters you've done for Saipark that week and how close you are to getting the weekly reward for getting a set amount of counters. So if that reward could be anything really, it could be a cosmetic, it could be increased odds the following week, or it could be an item that if you use it, you can get increased odds in the wild. Like there's lots of things they could do with that. And I think that would decrease the salt levels of people who have been, scammed week in, week out, 10,000 plus encounters and no Luma. I know a guy who's done that this week, and the salt levels are beyond anything I've ever seen, and I think that would definitely help with that. That guy who I'm speaking of is actually me. So yeah, I would love something like that. I really would love.
Josh Stryker.
I completely agree. I think it's a great idea to add rewards. So I know they have free tem, and that's great. But when they do something like this, none of us are going to do that. We can't. Like, I'm not going to take my time away from finding a possible 5% with 12 times odds to go get to go get some dye and some breeding items. No, thank you. I'm all set. Like, I need this Luma. I've been hunting on my main account the entire week. I'm probably at around 8,000 encounters at this point as well. I found one on my giveaway account, which, yes, I found a Luma Zwei. I know, I got one. Great. But I'm giving it away because that's what that account's for. So, like, but if there were some type of reward, because I've gone weeks. Like I said, I went 36 days without a Luma. That includes Saiparks. But if there were some type of reward where I got, I don't know, a cosmetic item or just something special for participating in the park and being here that made my time also worth it, not despite not getting anything, I think that would be really cool. I think it would give a lot more people incentive to come here and do this, because I know a lot of people actually have not been doing Saipark either. So many people have been taking a break because the Saiparks have been, for most people, they've been just kind of I mean, the Luma Vlash, amazing. Tuai, Schween, amazing. But all the other ones up until recently were kind of like the FOMU and what was it? Umishi. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't already have like those? I think those are probably some of the two most common because of the.
I want to shout out. I want to shout out to Damaga in chat, who has a 7SV perfect all egg move Luma Ukama, and then gave away a 6SV a 6 perfect SV egg move FOMU to Huron Crane, and literally Dumaga is just like rolling on a pile of Lumas right now. And just like just hatched like a 5SV perfect well, not perfect, but 5SV Volarin or Zephyruff. So
Kenny, I know you got a lot on this idea. So this is your chance. We're gonna open up to let you run wild on this idea of the observations.
Start the timer, folks. 20 minutes.
Yeah,
right,
we're gonna cut you off in a couple minutes though. So
because,
choose your words carefully.
Right now, I told everybody, I'm very conscious of the time I play Temtem every week. I play for 10 to 15 hours. I am touching 35 to 40 hours right now of playing Temtem for this week alone. Right now, for my potentially 30 hours of playing Temtem this week, I have literally nothing to show for it. I have nothing. I've not gained a single Pan Sun. I haven't spent a single Pan Sun. I haven't gained another Temtem. I've just been running from encounters for the whole week. There's a very high chance, because even though I've had all of these encounters, the more encounters you do, your luck doesn't increase the more encounters you do. It's the same chance, 1 in 2,666 chance to get a Luma every encounter. So I could very well end this week with nothing for playing in upwards of potentially 40 hours this week. That does not feel good whatsoever. That hurts. That hurts me, because I've chosen not to pursue my other hobbies or to pursue my other art this week because I've been after this. The reason why I suggested something like this as like a game suggestion is like it's the equalizing factor. I don't think it should be that everybody gets it. I feel like if you finish a Saipark week and you have all of your Sai cards that you started the week with, that those Sai cards, when they dissolve into something. they dissolve into currency.
Even half the fan sounds
I don't really like that because you could buy loads of Psy cards and then just
and not use
sit
Saipark.
on them and not use them and then get some sort of reward for having Psy cards.
And so
that could be scammed so easily.
Whatever we get from Saipark, like I feel like it needs to not impact the game. As far as you don't get any type of Pan-Sun refund. You don't get any type of items that are great for using in the storyline or anything like that. I feel like it just needs to be its own separate little tiny Saipark shop where as you do Saipark week after week and you get nothing and you get like these bad weeks, that you have that little building item ticker in the background that's like, oh man, it sucked I didn't get a Luma, but in 2 Saipark weeks I can get a green wheel for my bicycle or whatever. Or
I think the
house.
The Psy cards should just turn into half the cost of the Psy cards you bought. I don't think that those should turn into anything else. You should get half the amount you spent back if you don't for the cost of the cards essentially that you have left. This way you're not getting your full money back.
For me,
it'll be nothing. It would be literally. I mean, how much does it cost to get into Saipark? Yeah. Like 3,000.
But it depends how many cards you buy, though.
But why would you buy loads of cards if you haven't run out? If you're not finding any Lumas, that's something I don't really get as well.
Because people do buy them because you can run out of side cards. For example, first Saipark week, I hit a Luma Oshiara. It had 1 health left, and it broke out of 6 cards. And then I had to kill it because I didn't have any left because I didn't buy more. So I always buy extra because I don't have a Luma Oshiara.
That's fair. But it's not going to be a huge amount, is it? Yeah. We're talking like maybe you buy one extra, pack of Psy cards and then you get half back.
But then you got the SB and egg move weeks. People catch a bunch of them with egg moves, and the cards get really expensive. It's an increasing tier every time they double the cost.
That's a whole different topic, though, isn't it? That's a whole different thing.
Egg move, and XV week. Everybody has the chance to win, and I say win in quotations because generally you go into Saipark for a reason, and when you get the thing you want, you have won Saipark that week. Everybody on SV and Egg Move week has a chance to win at Saipark, whereas when you're there for a Luma week, you're not spending your cards unless you're running into a Luma. There's really no reason on a Luma week to spend your cards unless you're running into a Luma. And so when I say getting a currency for this, if you give it like a refund of Pan-Suns, I still look at it as my hourly investment. If I spent 30 hours in Saipark, I bought 12 cards and I spent 9,000 Pan-Suns to buy my 12 cards. And at the end of the week, I don't spend a single card and I get back half of the money I spent and I get 4,500 Pan-Suns back. It still feels awful that I spent 30 hours in game to spend 4,500.
If I may jump in here, I think the partial refund in Psy cards kind of helps a little bit with that, but doesn't tackle the main issue. And like Josh said, it's a reward that's not Pan-Suns tied to the side card that's abusable. That's why I really like the solution or the idea of it being number of encounters that you see that you get some special reward with. The other reason I really like that is people that complain about the cost of Saipark that don't have a lot of Pan-Suns or don't want to pay it. You could go get encounters without paying this fee then. If you get a Luma, you're not going to be able to catch it, but the point is you could participate
I think
in
you
it.
Still need
why is there a fee? I don't really understand why there is a fee to get into Saipark.
Take Pan-Suns out of the economy.
Saipark. You don't have to. You just can't catch anything.
Right.
No, but why do you have to pay for Psy cards? Like, why I don't really understand.
Because then you have infinite amounts of cards and people could abuse it for free temming, because if they put a rare tem in like Tuai, you could just go in here, you could catch a bunch of Tuai with your tem cards and just release it, and then you've got a huge amount of Pan-Suns. So there has to be Psy cards, because otherwise they increase the spawn rate and of certain Temtem, which give you high reward for Pan-Suns and free tem. So people would abuse that system if you could just use your own cards.
Yeah, and also it manages the economy, because anytime you're hunting in Saipark, you're not adding additional Pan-Suns circulating inside of the economy. It's taking out Pan-Suns, and you're not free temming and making more Pan-Suns.
Yeah.
I don't hate the idea, Josh.
Inflation is
Though
a
I don't
huge
hate
part
the
of-
idea. It would be nice.
Yeah.
I think if you could participate, even if you just got only 10 cards for free and then you got some paid after it. But I do acknowledge why it's there. But hey, listen. We've talked so much about Saipark and Lumas. We're getting a little bit close to the end here, where Josh has to move on. I wanna wind back the wheel. Everyone, take a deep breath. We're moving away from these contentious Luma Saiparks. We're gonna look at some nice art that's from the community. We're gonna transition back to our community shout out. So this is a temp card design posted by Call Me the Dump Man. Nice Reddit name. So there's a few people circulating designs of Temtem cards, and I always like showing them. I think people think they're cool. People who watch us like them. So here's some of their designs. I think they look really cool. I don't have a lot to say besides here they are. You guys appreciate these as well, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look really good. I understand that everybody's this obviously requires some type of art and Photoshop skill, but I wish it wasn't just the picture. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever I get magic cards and stuff, I like the ones that have the special background and that's the whole
let's
card.
look at this one. So this is another one. This is posted by I don't know, Makayavu. I don't know. You guys tell me your take on that Reddit username. But this is a different one I filled in. So is this more up your alley?
Yeah, that's more my alley. I really like the full art background. I just the blue background, especially for the platypet, just doesn't really work because it's already basically that blue. But I think they're really cool. I love the card designs that people are coming up with. I think it's super neat because I've always been a huge fan of card games. So these are actually really cool to me, and I think they did a good job.
So what was the purpose of making these cards? Just purely artistic, or
there's a lot of
do
people,
they have any sort of?
There's a lot of people doing it on Reddit. One person wants to design an actual playable game and is testing out game theory. A lot of people are just doing it for art to see what it would look like.
Yeah.
So it's a mix and match depending on who's doing it. Some people it's just a little fan art project. Other people, there is at least one person that wants to try to make a playable card game for it.
Yeah. And I think that would be really cool because then you could just, it's not actual, you're not playing the video game, but you're still playing Temtem with some aspects of Temtem. You've got the moves and stuff, just like a battle card game, like, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, or Pokemon, or whatever. It's just something cool to do.
Mm-hmm. So our next section here is, you know what the next section is? The next section is let's quiz Josh the same way we quizzed Havoc. All right. If you've listened to the show, you'll automatically get these right. If you haven't listened to the show, then your Temtem knowledge may save you. Okay, it's very. We're gonna play you 2 sound clips from 2 different Temtems. You're gonna name. It's gonna be the first. There's gonna be double of the Temtem coming out. So we're gonna play the first clip, and you're gonna tell us what Temtem it is. Okay. No one help him in chat. Right. No one help him in chat.
All right, I'll close chat. Oh, I'm gonna go with Whiplum.
Gaijin's shaking his head. I'll give you a hint.
Disappointed.
Gaijin is a hint.
Okay, do I get another guess?
Yeah. Yep.
One more.
All right. Can you give me a clue? What type? What type?
Neutral.
Neutral. A Tataru.
Yeah. it's 2 Tataroos being thrown out of cards. Yep, that's right. All right, we're gonna redemption round. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, confirm Josh Stryker's never listened to TemTalk in his life.
I have, but I just, I'm a big lurker on Twitch.
Don't worry, I'm just giving you a hard time, man.
Yeah.
Time. So that's just the Temtem.
That's Whiplum.
That's Whiplum. There you go. He got it. We don't have an applause track, but he got it. Well done. Yeah, when you guessed Wimplump on the first one, I was like, maybe he does listen to the show. And because I sometimes play the Wimplump, but yeah, it's Wimplump and Tataru. With that, we're transitioning to we've kind of beat this segment into the ground already, but we talk about what we've been up to this game. I've been hunting 2 Eyes and streaming. End my section on this. Does anyone have anything to put in here besides hunting Lumais for what they've been up to this week in Temtem?
I don't think anybody's been doing anything.
I've played a little bit of comp. I'm working on a few things. I want to get want to get my TMR up. I've just purchased.
This is
a
why you
Whip
didn't get
Lump,
Luma
actually,
2i.
so-
This is why you didn't get Luma 2i, because you stopped to play
No,
competitive.
I've been doing break, like I've been playing a bit of comp to break up the Luma hunts, because when you're hunting for like 6-7 hours,
Everyone,
you need something to
everyone
break
in chat,
up.
help me out here. At Josh Stryker, filthy casual, can't Luma hunt 24/7. No, so fair. So you've been doing...
I think to be the ultimate Temtemer, you have to be good at all aspects.
That's
you know,
well-rounded,
and you have to keep being the best like me. You have to keep the practice up.
Okay.
You know, you can't be the best without
a
practicing
Temtem
your
Road
skills.
Scholar, a Temtem Road Scholar in our hands here.
Throwing
Exactly,
shade.
exactly.
All I do is Luma hunt, so I'm not a real Temtemer.
Correct.
Yeah, you need to get PvP gauging. I want to see you in the Luma World Cup on the 19th of July. Can I plug that? Can I actually plug that quickly before I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Can I plug? All right, yeah, perfect. So guys, I'm hosting another tournament for the World Cup, and that is going to be on the 19th of July. It's going to be Lumas only. So you pick 8 Lumas, and it will be in a tournament setting. It will be Swiss rounds and then an elimination round. And yeah, more information on that. If you want more information on that, I can post. Can I post the link to the to the battle
away,
5?
Sir.
Okay, I'll post a link to my Discord actually if you guys want more info. So you've got that. It'll be in the channel for the Battlefy. For the World Cup, sorry. So just click the Battlefy link if you want any more info. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta shoot. I will see you guys soon. Thank you for having me on,
Josh. So much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to have you on.
Been really fun. It's been really fun, and I'd love to do it again. So
we'd love to have you back.
It'd be amazing to be able to come back.
And thanks for the tournament, the World Cup. Thanks for hosting it. It was a lot of fun to have that big of a tournament in the community. So thank you a lot for that as well, and everything you do for the community in general.
Yeah, no, cheers, guys. And again, if you want to check out my streams, it's twitch.tv/Josh Stryker. And thanks again, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Oh, look at that. Now we're all messed up.
Man.
So here, I'll work on fixing this.
I didn't get a chance to pitch him my D cup.
What's your? Why don't you let people know about that?
D rank Tems only. I want to see somebody do a tournament with just D rank Tems, and I know they'd have to pick one of the rank charts because there's a bunch of rank charts. But I think it would be really fun to watch a D rank or C rank cup with only D or C rank Tems.
Kennedy, well, I fixed the camera. I agree. I would love it just to get rid of the Fantastic Four. Kennedy, while I fix these cameras for us, can you let people know about the community event this week, the Plus OP week?
Yeah. Before we do though, I'll jump into like what I was up to this week. Other than Luma hunting, I had actually made plans with various players in the game before the Luma week was decided, going after my 5% challenge. Not after I saw the Luma week, I was just like, there's no way I can TV train Tims this week and compete on ladder and get a Luma 2i. So I had to give that up of going after last week's TemTalk challenge. And I was going to be TV training Tims for money this week too for people. And I had to give that up also to go after the Luma. And so it's sad, but yeah, that's been my in-game life. So next week we're going to have the same Tim challenge of the week going on, and I will be tackling that next week. Going on to the community events and tournaments that happen, I didn't keep my nose to the grindstone as far as like making sure I covered every single tournament this week, but I did tune into Plus OP's weekly tournament, number 16 last night. Selkomad walked away as the winner. The grand finals were between Selkomad and Senior Plat. Senior Plat was something I always like try and pick out the interesting team compositions and takeaway notes from the tournament, just so people know like what to look for in the future. Senior Plat used a triple toxic team. I think triple toxic is going to be very, very powerful moving into the future when more Wind Tims are pushed out of the meta. They used a Platamus, Noxolotl, and Mushuk on their team with, other Tims. But Senior Plat, was not able to clutch it out in the end, just barely losing the game due to Noxolotl's trance ability. And while Noxolotl had the better HP, the better defenses against a lower HP Gaialis, the problem was the Gaialis outsped the Noxolotl, hit it, and even though the Noxolotl's defenses kicked in, its healing kicked in, it put itself to sleep and it couldn't act that turn. And then, the next turn, it just didn't have enough damage to one-shot Gaialis when Gaialis woke it up. So Noxolotl, I think, is a Temtem just to look out for when the rest of its kit comes in. Noxolotl is a joke of a Temtem right now. It's a huge special defense wall, and it has 0 special attacks, but it has a super high special attack stat. When it gets its special attacks coded into the game,
hopefully in Kissawa.
Yeah, I think Noxolotl is going to be a real threat on the. I think it's going to be a real threat on the ladder. Like, you're going to see Anaerobic Voloran and Noxolotl is probably the 2 biggest special defense tanks in the game. And I linked the bracket. We don't have to pull it up.
I went through it already. It was already up on the stream. So no, listen, we're short. We're short on time. That's a pretty good summary there. Did you want to talk about the challenge, or do you want to push it to next week?
Yeah. So I'll go over it again. The challenge of the week. Last week, our challenge was a 5% challenge. You have to use Tims that have a 5% spawn rate naturally in the wild. TV train them, put them on your team. You have to have 2 of them on your team, and you have to win a competitive game with them. The Tims excluded from this list are Xenarath, which evolves from Azerok. Xenarath is excluded. Kinu is excluded, and Tuvine are excluded. Other than that, you have Ashara, you have Crystal and Shieldroud, you have Barnshee, Azerok, and there's like one more that I'm forgetting. But yeah, okay. 2 5%ers. Oh, Shuine, that's the other one. Put them on your team. They're very unique, specific.
Get your Luma Shuine and put that on the team.
And you have to have 2 of them on your team and win a match.
Let's start wrapping this up here. A little violin hype music. Let's talk about where people can find more of each of us. Josh is already out here. We talked about Josh, twitch.tv/Josh Stryker. You can find myself streaming Temtem as well at twitch.tv/Vonlin. Temporium GG staff, if you could be so kind to help us link all these in the chat as we go through them, that would be so amazing. But I stream Temtem throughout the week. Monday night, we're going to be doing a slushy drink stream and doing co-op with a new player who's never played through the storyline for the first time. I'm going to co-op up with them and get their thoughts and opinions as we enjoy some daiquiris and margaritas and pina coladas in stream by popular demand. And Wednesday, I'll be doing competitive. Don't forget, you can find the show of TemTalk on YouTube for past episodes, as well as in any podcast app. You want to listen to us in the car, in your kitchen, or on the go. Gaijinbu, over to you, sir. Where can people find some more of yourself?
I can be found on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter at It's Gaijinbu. So that is ITSGAIJINBUU. I stream Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will also be streaming this upcoming Monday because we're going to do my Luma 2i giveaway. So I have a Luma 2i that I got on my giveaway account. I'm going to breed it. So I'm going to get Luma 2i eggs to give away as well. But we're going to do the Luma 2i after it's bred. I'm going to use all the telomere hacks that are actually on my account as well to make it better.
Really? This is really high value.
But so I'm going to use all the telomere hacks that are on the account. I'm going to hack it up, and we're going to give that away. We're going to give away multiple eggs. And yeah, so you can find me twitch.tv/itsgaijinbu. I stream a lot, and that's what I do.
Kennedy, how about you, sir?
Everybody can find me. I have it on the screen at Presby Kennedy. I'm on Twitter and most social media. I live stream D&D on YouTube. I've just linked that into the description, youtube.com/c/presbykennedy. I live stream D&D. And then you can catch me also on the Temporium channel. I think we've got probably Nightbot commands to link Temporium.
Do we have any Temporium? Since we're on the Temporium channel now, I'd love to get them. Do you guys have any tournaments on the schedule, or are we still planning future tournaments?
Sorry. We don't have anything on the schedule right now. Fellow Tamers does a monthly Little Cup that we partner up with them for. I think that's the next thing on our roster if we get enough casters to broadcast it. And I believe the next one that's coming out is like either it's in July, and then this is going to be their last tournament before they have their big cash cup. The Fellow Tamers Little Cup, you can win 200 euros, which I think equates to like $220 for playing Temtem and just playing well. So definitely there's a whole channel inside of the Temporium GG Discord. It's linked by the Nightbot up above in the chat. Or if you're listening to the podcast episode, just Google search Temporium and you'll probably find it. It's a pretty big competitive community, and there's a channel inside the Temporium Discord where you can sign up for the Little Cup and win some cash.
What we're trying to tell you guys, if you feel like the game Temtem is light on content, there's a lot of content being produced by content producers and creators. So go find it online. Check it all out. There's tournaments, there's streamers. There's plenty to do while you play Temtem with some other people online in a social setting. I think that's going to do it for us, though. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Big thanks to Josh Stryker, Gaijinbu, Kennedy. As always, a pleasure to have you. Until next time, everyone. And yeah, by the way, we'll be live 11 a.m. Central on Temporium GG's Twitch channel next Saturday. So catch us if you can. Thank you.